Hey, what's up, lightboltjoe here. Today we are going to discuss Book 4, Balance of the Legend of Korra. This is such an important season. This was such a perfect finale with an actual epilogue. It's just... I get very emotional watching the finale every single time, especially the last like four episodes of this book. It's so important. It's so important, this whole book of balance. 3 years go by. Korra still has some poison in her. She's still trying to figure out why she's seeing her, the past evils that have just tortured her for all these years. She can't get back into the Avatar state. She lied to everyone saying that she'd go back to Republic City after 6 months in the Southern Water Tribe, but she's been out and about in the Earth Kingdom doing underground fighting to try to get her mojo back. It's not working. While this is happening, Kuvira, who is a general in Zaofu under the leadership of Su Beifeng, was tasked with kind of wrangling in the Earth Empire because of Zahir killing the Earth Queen. So Ba Sing Se and the Earth Empire has just been, chaos as Zahir wanted. So 3 years of work, Varric and Julie have been working with Kuvira. Bolin's been working with Kuvira. Batar Jr. is now engaged to Kuvira. So it's been a lot of stuff building up over the 3 years of trying to get the Earth Kingdom back together. So Kuvira became a dictator along the way. She has, re-education camps, which are, concentration camps for those other benders that are not earthbenders who were in the Earth Kingdom. They've been purged out of their homes. It's been bad. And she's guiding it as, that she's unifying, that she's uniting the Earth Kingdom. She's making everyone bow to her as the great uniter. Korra finds, Toph in the swamps, and she is trying to learn from Toph. She eventually learns, to face the torture that she went through, to face the literal failure that she's gone through so many times prior, and to get the poison out of her. Jinora, Iki, and Milo find her. They all go back, to Tenzin, back to Republic City, after Zaofu is taken over by Kuvira and company. Bolin and Varric escape Kuvira's ranks. Julie plays double agents to try to, take Kuvira down from the inside. Su, Wing, and Wei are captured. So now it's a matter of Opal trying to forgive Bolin. What's going to happen? How are they going to save, their family, but also, liberate Zaofu, defeat Kuvira in the process? Kuvira tasked Varric with creating weapons out of spirit vines to harness the spirit vine energy. Varric originally wanted it as a clean energy source. Kuvira wanted it, and Batar Jr. wanted it as a weapon source. So that was weaponized into a gigantic mech suit, which then attacked Republic City, because Republic City is the last Earth Kingdom territory, technically, based off of what we learned in the Avatar comics, with Aang and Zuko creating that little fish village to a town, to a city, to this giant metropolis that we know and love, Republic City. And all this stuff, the chaos ensues. Prince Wu, who was with Mako the entire time, Mako was Prince Wu's bodyguard for the last 3 years, is leading an evacuation alongside Pema with some badger moles, which is pretty cool. And then Prince Wu eventually, decides to end the monarchy and have the states do, their own elections, which we see in Legend of Korra comics. The comics are so important. I can't stress that enough. If you watch the shows, you have to read the comics. It's a continuation of the stories. I can't stress how important those comics are. What else? So it's just a massive Metropolis battle of our eclectic group of heroes, of an extended team Avatar, fighting against Kuvira. Kuvira and Korra having a rematch. The spirit energy cannon just destroys Republic City. Katara, saves the day by making sure Kuvira doesn't die from the cannon and inadvertently creates a new spirit portal. Before all this happens, and how she gets the poison out, she still can't really get into the Avatar state in full effect. She visits Zahir, who's in prison, and she wants to face him to try to get closure and saying, you can't scare me anymore, but he still does scare her, and she has to learn the acceptance. She has to accept the past. She has to accept what happened. She has to accept the torture. She has to accept the failure. Not so much in a, okay, cool, I'm fine with it. No, it's a matter of, this happened. What do I learn from this? How do we move forward? Not move on. How do we move forward? How do we keep moving forward? Zahir literally has a heart-to-heart with Korra, saying that Kuvira has gone too far, that they have the same common enemy. He will help her. Who does that? Who does that? Aside from, Zuko's amazing character arc of him joining Team Avatar, becoming Aang's firebending teacher, the two of them going to the original firebending masters, the two dragons, learning the dragon dance. It's amazing character development within, the Avatar The Last Airbender, but of course within The Legend of Korra, specifically on Zahir's character. And then Kuvira, having that heart-to-heart with Korra in the spirit world, realizing that the two of them are very alike. Korra explaining why the two of them are very alike. So for them to come out of the spirit world, Kuvira surrenders. She's willing to accept whatever punishment, is given to her. It's growth. It's growth on Zahir's part. It's growth on Kuvira's part. It's growth on Korra's part. The amount of hell that she went through for so long, for so many years, she has that heart-to-heart with Tenzin, and he even says, you've done more in a short amount of time than most Avatars do in a full lifetime. Like, you do need a break. So Korra and Asami have started a relationship, or are starting a relationship as the show progresses. And the two of them go on vacation at the end after, Asami saying sounds perfect when Korra says, let's just go to the spirit world. Let's go on vacation. It's just the two of us. Go on a vacation in the spirit world. Asami says sounds perfect. Two of them walk hand in hand. Both grab both hands, look dead in each other's eyes. They don't kiss. But we know something's up in a great, beautiful sense. It's important. It's very important for representation. It's very important to show this as a quote-unquote kids show. This was, 2014? So this was 8 years ago? Wow, that's a long time. I saw this with my brother and a friend of ours. And I jumped up cheering, and I said, I called this in season 3 that the two of them would get together. And they were like, no, they couldn't. But they did. And it's just moving forward with the relationship of the two of them. In the comics. The comics are so important. Why I get emotional with this show, with this season, with this finale specifically. This is obviously the best season of all 7 Avatar seasons, and I know people will disagree on that, but growth. Not acceptance, but understanding. You have to learn to understand, why is this happening? Not so much why it happened, but what do we do next? What do we do to move forward? Can we not forget, not forgive? Can we move forward? That's the key F. Forward. Can we move forward? How do we move forward? When do we move forward? Not a why, but it all comes back to forward. Korra going through all of that stuff for so long. With Amon, with Unalaq, with Zahir, with Kuvira. Those are all 4 of the antagonists, right? But for Zahir to have that moment with Korra, and Korra to have that moment with Kuvira is super important on moving forward. Life is awful. Life is terrible. There's no getting around that. It's not a matter of, why is this happening to me? It's a matter of, what do we do next? What do we do to move forward? And it's interesting when, people have different forms of problems from different aspects of life, right? Just because your problem might be bigger than somebody else's problem doesn't technically belittle that other person's problem. How do we all move forward? How do you move forward? How do you sit yourself down, figure out what's going on, not accept what's going on, but question, how do you move forward from this moment? What next? What's next? Not a woe is me. Not as why is this happening to me? We got to get out of that mindset. What do we do next, right? In the worlds of Walt Disney, keep moving forward. He had a whole speech about that. The whole premise of Meet the Robinsons was keep moving forward. I can't think of anything better to summarize Korra's story and as the mini little life philosophy lesson of keep moving forward. Face your past, face your demons. How do we get past this? How do we learn from this? How do we move forward? I keep repeating myself. How do we move forward? Keep moving forward. We're going to end it at that. The Legend of Korra, Book 4 Balance. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant minds of the Avatar team. I'm excited to start The Dragon Prince, which is one of the producers of Last Airbender, did The Dragon Prince, which is another Netflix show. So we're going to start that. I know it's very minimal on seasons. I think it's like 8 or 9 episodes a season. There's only 3 so far. There's like 4 more coming, something like that. But we're gonna watch it. We're gonna get into it. I'm very excited. Who knows? Maybe I won't like it. But then how do I move forward from that? Okay, we're good. Avatar: The Last Airbender, incredible. Avatar, well, we dropped the Avatar title, but The Legend of Korra, incredible. So thus concludes our TV series of our Avatar universe shows. Within reviews. We're going to jump back into the comics after I go through my to-be-read list, my TBR list. I got a lot of books, but I still got to go through. Once I catch up, then I'll go back into the comic reviews. Yeah, we're almost there. We can do this. Keep moving forward. Mucho mahalo.